This is a really exciting site we're going to show you around today. So this house is a 4-bedroom detached property in Stafford in the Midlands. Not only is this a great property, we've got something really exciting to show you in the garden. So let's go.
One of the things I love about this house is we're going to get to use K-render. We've rendered different types of houses before, but we never quite used K-render, and we love K-render because it's so easy to use, it lasts long, and it's just better than pretty much anything else. And this house, this is a bit of a show home, which means we're going to make this look really, really good. So outside, we're going to have new guttering. All the windows are going to be brand new. We're going to do them in that beautiful, nice grey that you see on those houses as well. We're going to render literally everything. It's going to be a really smooth finish. It's really going to pop when everything has been done. We're going to move inside. We're going to look at how we're going to make the whole thing really, really nice, and how you can really turn it into not just your average kind of 2 or 3 bed house, how you're going to make it into a 4-bed show home. So Anthony, take us in.
Let's go. So when we come into the main hall, one of the things that we really want to do with this house, there's no downstairs toilet that we can really take advantage of. So we want to create a really big open space into this property. Just behind us here, we're going to utilize this space, create a nice toilet downstairs for the guests when they come in. So when we're having this really open plan feel in the property, it's really going to add to the quality and the experience of the people that come in to use it. In this room here, this is going to be the premium family room. So we're going to block this door up here, but when we go in there in a minute, you'll see that this was used as a downstairs bathroom, probably for one of the family members that were staying in the property. Maybe this was created as a bedroom. What we want to do with this room is recreate that family room feel that most properties no longer get. A space that people can create for a really nice corner sofa. We'll have this space here to utilize for entertainment, so TVs, maybe some bookshelves and things. And then the whole room opens up to allow that feel. Families in here having their Christmas in the family living room. This we thought was actual mahogany, it isn't, it's just cheap plywood. So we're going to be getting rid of this. Bit of a shame because it is a really nice looking feature, but we'll make something more modern in here, probably brick the fireplace up and have maybe like an electrical one there, so we can create a TV unit across this point.
It's a family entertainment room. You know, we live in 2021. We can't begin to assume people are not going to have TVs. You've got to begin to plan for them. And this is a massive house, as you're going to see in a minute when we move through. There's other rooms where you can have that sit down with your family vibe without it being focused on the TV. It's not a home cinema room, it's not quite that far, but it's designed for people to chill out, have the TV on, a family room, as you say.
So this door is going to get bricked up. We're going to bring the floor up on this room, and this will become the utility room attached to the kitchen. So we'll push all this back, have some cupboards in here, a little sink basin, and then laundry room in here to be able to use for utilities. So this room is going to be completely open plan right to the back of the property. And this is really going to be the main focal point of where guests get entertained in this property. Initially, we were looking to have this completely opened up as an archway, so you just walk straight through into the complete flow of the property. But then when we've looked at it, the whole thing will be quite cold because the airflow coming through the property will be right through to the front door. So now what our plan is, we're going to have some sliding doors here, some really nice modern sliding doors that go inside the wall to give that really premium feel. This particular wall here will get pulled down. We'll have to put 2 big steels in here so we can take out the full wall, but we'll open this up to create this whole open plan feel across the whole end of the property. So as we come into this room, this is going to be the kitchen dining area. Again, it's going to be part of the open plan living room. We're going to push the kitchen back ever so slightly to create an island and a really nice kitchen feature back there. So this kitchen at the minute is quite big, quite wasted space in my opinion. So we've got a door here, as well as the door there, as well as the original door that's there. What we want to do with this, obviously this particular door is going to get bricked up because the back side of that will be where the new toilet downstairs is going to be. This door also is going to get taken away, and then this is going to become the focal point for the kitchen. We'll open up a door here, allowing us to go back into that utility room that was attached to the main living room. And then here, the kitchen will have units right across this back wall and a nice long island here so that we can create food and serve people in the kitchen dining area.
Someone say serving food. How good is that?
I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate conservatories. They're horrible spaces and I just want to rip it down. So when we initially came to look at the property, our initial plan was to completely pull this down and to replace the original French doors with bifolds. When we brought our structural engineer around to the building, initially what we then looked at is how can we then take advantage of this space, because let's face it, it's quite a big surface area. So how can we use it to create more of a premium feel for the property? So our new plan is to brick up most of the windows to create a window space there, and then this back wall here, the bay part will disappear and we'll brick it up either side and then create a full 5 or 6 door bifold system there that opens right out into the patio, which is going to be really nice Indian stones.
So what have we got going here, Anthony? Because you know what this feels like to me? Do you know what this is crying out for?
You know what this is crying out for? This is crying out for a hot tub.
It is. It is crying out for a hot tub.
The garden space is vast. It's so huge. So because we want to make a really premium end property here, we want to leave lots of optional features for the person that comes to buy it. So when we sell the property as a flip, it's got all these extra options for the person that takes it on to be able to utilize the property in the right way. What we don't want to do is K-render the building really nicely and then someone decide they want to have a hot tub here, and then we've got to start drilling through the sides of the K-render to then put external electrical points into the property. So what we're going to do is this particular door is going to get bricked up into the kitchen, and this door is the original door to that utility room. So this one will also go and it'll all be K-rendered across it. We'll have 2 outside electrical points here, so we can have a hot tub potentially on the new decking area that we're going to have here. When we look to build the new decking, we'll obviously make sure that it's reinforced to allow for a hot tub, so that if somebody does want to add that as a feature to the property, they're not then going to have to rip up the brand new decking that we've put in to then think about putting a hot tub on it. Rather than using this wood, we'll go for a more composite decking feel on it. Lasts
longer, attracts less rats, and it's quicker to install as well. This is a show home. This is a really nice property. The whole basis of this house is it's going to be high end. Now, we're not going to install a hot tub on this. We're not going to spend 5, 10, 15 grand on a hot tub when we come to sell it. There's no point. It doesn't add that to the value. However, what we will do, which is something you mentioned already and you alluded to, is you leave the options there for people. And you actually come along and say, right, this is the kitchen we're planning on. However, here are some other options, different choices of worktops, different choice of cupboards. You mentioned there's a surprise in the back garden. We might even have a swimming pool option. Now, what this basically means is, let's say we're going to sell this for 500,000. You could put an option and say, right, if you want a swimming pool, it's 550 or whatever it might be. Now, obviously we make a margin on whatever you sell it up for. And this is how you can squeeze in some little extra profit, but also work with a buyer to help them design their dream home. It's a show home. It's not just a little 2-bed.
And that's the point, it's about creating that dream. We're not just taking this from a perspective of, let's just build the property, let's just flip it and make some quick money. We want to create a home for somebody. And in this area, people are crying out for bigger properties because people like to live in this particular area of the town, but then there's not enough properties on the market that meet the demand for the size of families that people have got. So that's really what this property is going to do. As we go into the garden, like I said, we're going to have bifolds here. So we want to create this as a really nice patio area. So the idea being is that we'll put Indian stone down on this. We'll get rid of the original flower bed and then it'll just go into a nice grassed garden. Again, we'll have this option for a swimming pool in the garden. So if the person taking on the property wants to have that, then they can have that as an optional extra in the garden. If not, we'll leave it grassed. So whoever takes on the property can then customize the garden to what suits their needs, just allows them to use that space. But the garden is where the best part about this property is, because this is so huge, it's allowing us the opportunity to develop in the garden. So our plan is to put a house in the top side of that garden. Now, it might not look like it, but there's a 12-foot shed in the corner of that garden. So it just shows you how vast this space is and how much we're going to use it. We're going to take down the garage, and this is going to become the new drive for the new property that's going to be situated here. And our boundary line will be situated straight down the side of the property there. When we start building work on this, the first thing we'll do is erect a fence down here just to create that boundary line for the development in the garden. And then we're going to take it straight across to the back side of this shed, leaving all that space there for this property's garden. Now, we could essentially use this space there for the garden on this property as well, but our aim is probably to give the new property an additional garden space just for more privacy, and it's just going to add to the end value of the property.
Ultimately, that is not a small area of garden
no,
anyway.
It's huge.
That's big, and from a maintenance perspective and a value perspective, We were discussing this earlier, actually going any bigger might be harmful to our end value rather than beneficial.
I'll tell you something that's really interesting. We've been looking at bungalows on some of the plots we're looking to develop on at the minute. And some of the size of the bungalows is 8 meters by 5 meters. And I can almost guarantee you that that is about the same size as a bungalow.
It's not far off.
So it just gives you an idea of the scale of it.
So one of the things I love about this house actually is the size of the landing. You rarely get this kind of space in houses. Well, I mean, they're smaller now, right? So we don't have the opportunity to have space like this, but this is a perfect place for either a small office or maybe even a library or even just like a comfy chair and a reading lamp, somewhere you can chill out, maybe away from the kids at night. I love this place because it also means that if we want to, we can go up into the attic. And the attic is a really, really good size. It's got good height. The roof is in good condition. It needs a little bit of TLC. Much like any roof of any house that's been on for a while, but it's in good condition. And if we decide that we're going to replace the entire roof, then we're certainly going to look into doing an attic conversion, make this into a 5-bed. But if we don't, it's still going to work out really, really well, and we can get away with just, like I say, giving a bit of TLC, increase the insulation, little things like that.
So this particular room as well, what's the first thing I said when I came up here? You know, my favorite thing about properties is to replace windows and put big glass windows everywhere. So that back window there, yes, we've got net curtain on it at the minute, and it is letting a good amount of light into this room, but we really want to open this up. And when you come up the staircase, have this really grand kind of feature here. So because we're K-rendering the building, it'll give us the availability to put a bigger window into there without having to worry about replacing brickwork on the outside and matching brickwork up.
Add a bit more light into here. Without this window, this would be quite a dark area, even with lights on. This house really has no problems. There's no structural problems. There's no damp problems. Yeah, it needs a rewire, it needs a replumb, but that's to be expected. This is a Victorian house. We're thinking somewhere around the 1870s, give or take. You know, Victorians were by far and away the best house builders. There are no stud walls in this house. It's all brick, it's all concrete, it's a solid house. It's crying out to be refurbed and brought back to its former glory. This would have been a beautiful house if it was new. And it's gonna be beautiful again. Moving in here, we've got our main master bedroom, I guess you could say. And this room actually feels smaller than it is. We'll go into another one that's over the other side in a minute, and they are actually identical in size. But this one feels small because of all the furniture. But you can get a sense of the kind of people who used to live in. You can get a sense of the size of the room here. And we're gonna be getting an ensuite in this room as well. We haven't exactly decided which corner of the room we're gonna put it in yet. We're just waiting to get back some results from our drain surveys to see where we're gonna run our soil pipe, and hence which is gonna make most sense when it comes to running the ensuite in this room. But this is gonna be a lovely master bedroom with an ensuite, easily a double room. You get a queen, maybe even a king size double bed in here. Really nice size property. And again, no problems. It's so damp, it doesn't even smell in here.
We've still got the fireplace in this particular room that's just hidden behind this unit. So it's already been boarded up. We're going to take this out completely and make sure we cap off the chimneys on the top of the property, just mainly because we don't really use these in the properties anymore. And again, you know, it's got this kind of entertainment unit kind of feature in it at the minute. We're going to get rid of all that completely and just have it back to the wall so that anybody that's using this room can use it in their fashion.
Yeah, I mean, you can see again the size of the room. These are quite deep, you know, like I can get almost my whole arm in here. You know?
This was the thing though, wasn't it? My mum and dad have got these built in their properties, and they must have painted them about 15,000 times because this was the thing, have these built-in wardrobes in the room. I think they just close things off, I think.
Well, they do, and when we walk into the other room, you're not going to believe that they're the same size.
Thing is, I'm a minimalist, you know that. I like...
Minimalist, yeah. Things have their place, you don't need lots of stuff out and about. There's too many cupboards in here. When I walked in here, I thought it was a walk-in wardrobe, like a closet. I didn't think it was a bedroom because there's so much going on. But obviously you see the footmarks of the bed and you go, all right, yeah, fair enough, it's the bed. But yeah, it's a nice property. So this is actually one of the smaller rooms in this house. It's still a really good size. I mean, it's probably coming on 10 square meters. So officially speaking, get 2 people in here if it's an HMO. But again, we're just gonna obviously go back to brick, new plaster, new radiator, new sockets, new light switches, new lights. Get rid of the polystyrene tiles, new windows. The heating has not been in this house for a couple of months, and it's not a particularly warm day, but even I can feel the heat coming through these windows now, and it feels like the radiator's on because we've got that light coming in. I'm fairly certain this is south facing. It's gonna be setting over here. We've got a lot of light coming through. It's gonna be a lovely property when we're done and dusted with it. And again, these are not small rooms. This is not a small house. So yeah, it might just be a double bedroom, might be fairly simple, but the fact that it's big, it doesn't mean you can't do anything with it, and you can still make it look nice. And when you've got a nice new window in there and everything's finished out, and of course we'll probably furnish this, we'll definitely do some CGIs and stuff like that so people can get an idea of what it might look like, you can begin to piece together how you want your house to look when you come in to buy something like this. Not only that, it's a square room, which means it's usable. It's not a weird L shape or anything like that. They're sensible rooms that you can do things with. The Victorians really thought about how it is you live rather than just throwing a house up. So then we're going to move into this room here. And well, that one was probably the son's room. This one was probably the daughter's room. This one is pink. And again, it feels narrow and it feels small, but only because we've been in some of the bigger rooms. Again, this is not a small room. Old wood chip wallpaper, of course, all that's going to come off. New plaster, new skirts, new doors hung the right way, not this way, because we literally lose all of this usable space. Obviously, the whole place is being rewired, so new lights, all that kind of stuff. Skim everything out. Brand new room, new joinery. It's going to look really, really nice. And of course, nice thick carpets, really high-end carpets, make it feel really nice when you walk on it. Kind of like you're walking on air. When you get those brand new trainers, that's what it's going to feel like walking on these carpets when we're done. And now we're moving into the second master bedroom. I call it a second master bedroom because, well, it's huge and you can't call this anything but a master bedroom. And again, we're gonna make this one into an ensuite. The chimney breast is gonna stay, but as Anthony said in the other room, we're gonna be capping this one off at the top, sorting it out down below as well. This is a massive, massive bedroom, and it's crying out for a bathroom. And the beautiful thing is, and you'll see this in a minute, the other side of this wall is we have a bathroom already, and below it is what will be the utility room, currently the downstairs bathroom. So all our pipe work is here, the boiler is below, the drainage is here. It's very, very easy to put in, so naturally, we're going to put the ensuite here, and we've got a window for it as well, which of course will be frosted when we're done. So new window there, new window here, new plaster, new radiator, new lights, and away we go.
One of the interesting things about this property is when I first came to look at it in the first place, I'm always looking, especially when it's got these, old single glazed windows, for cold walls, for a bit of damp and things coming through. And this one was particularly cold when I came, and it still is. It has a slight little bit of damp to the property. Now, this will get fixed very quickly. Some people will look at this and think it's a real big issue, but don't forget, we're going to be K-rendering the whole building, so we'll give it more of a waterproof finish once we do it done. We're going to replace the windows to stop any kind of water coming through, penetrating through any of the windows, and potentially guttering as well is another thing that could potentially cause damp in a property. So this slight little bit of damp on the wall could be a number of things. It could be penetrating in from the window point, from the mortar as it's damaged. It could be coming from the guttering. It's nothing that we would be concerned of, and it's just going to get fixed as part of the refurb anyway.
And ultimately, no one's lived in this house for a while, so it's been cold. And the back of the house is fairly warm because of the sun. In that back bedroom, I was just saying, that you can feel the heat coming through. You're not going to have this here. You're not going to get the same light to the front of the house with no heating on. That's just going to exacerbate the issue wherever it's coming from.
Well, this is the interesting thing about damp though, isn't it? We see a lot of condensation damp in properties, and when you go to view them and they've been empty for a while, this one stood for a little while till we actually came in to do this video today, and it's still quite warm. It's Victorian properties for you again, isn't it? They hold the heat in, they hold the
solid brick walls, good insulation values. Let's have a look at this bathroom then, because I don't know. You tell me, do you think you could keep this bathroom or do you want to replace it? We talk about an avocado bathroom suite, but I don't think we talk about like a chocolate hazelnut mousse bathroom suite anymore. This is obviously all going to get replaced. We'll strip this out, new family bathroom. We'll go for a big double-sized shower, a shower that Anthony would be happy with, one that Stu, our builder, can fit in, as you've seen from the previous YouTube videos, a proper size shower that a family can use. We'll also obviously have a toilet and a sink. We're going to rip out this cupboard in the corner. It's just not serving any purpose. We're not going to have a hot water tank in here. It's not going to be a warm cupboard. There's no point having it, so we'll square the room out and of course get rid of this horrible ceiling and I guess a skylight.
That's light. It is the light.
Actually the light. So actually they've just come out with these brand new lights you can get in your bathroom. Brand new IP rating, as you can see, perfectly waterproof there. No problems whatsoever. We've got Isaac on site, Sparky. Did you give it the seal of approval, man?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. There you go. I love it. Obviously this would not pass in current regs, but yeah, brand new bathroom, new floors. Are we going to tile in the bathroom?
We probably won't tile in here. We'll probably tile downstairs just because it'll be easier to go for an LVT vinyl in here.
What about the walls?
What I would do with this bathroom, don't forget we're having 2 en-suites in a 4-bedroom property and having no baths if we decide to put a big shower in here. So I think what we're going to have to go with is, we'll go either, if we're going to go very premium, we'll go a freestanding bath, or we'll have a freestanding bath shower, like a really high-end one. But I think I like the idea of having a freestanding bath with you know, a shower hose on the top of the bath, because it just, again, it adds this premium feel to it. You know, if people really want to have showers, we're going to have 2 ensuite rooms.
It's one of those other things we can add into the list for buyers, isn't it? We can say, look, you know, this is what we're planning, freestanding and all the rest of it, or we can go for a big double walk-in shower, or hey, do you want to go for something completely different?
We'll get full CGIs created in this property before we even start the whole build process. So we're in the process of having them mocked up at the minute. So we're going to get this on the market very quickly before we even start work with it. Or actually, when we start work on it, it's going to be on the market.
It'll be within a couple of weeks.
So it will give us that availability to be able to take something like this, to get a CGI render of what the actual bathroom looks like. And then if we want to change it up a little bit, then we can meet the demands of the person that's looking to buy the property.
And that is how you make sure your house is always sellable. Because this is naturally going to be a bit more niche than selling a little 2-bed terrace down the end of the road. You know, there are less people who can buy these. You've got to cater better for the buyers out there. So yeah, lovely new family bathroom when we're done.
Really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the walk around the property. We're really looking forward to showing you the step-by-step process of how we've taken this on and what we're going to do for it. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for future videos.
And hey, if you've got suggestions on videos or even suggestions on what we're doing in this house, you want to do that, please comment below. We love to help people out. If you ever want anything, just get in touch with myself or Anthony or David here at AWT.
See you next time.